Welcome to Worthy Conversations.
So, so part of our problem is miseducation. This is I'm saying into the concept of what is black. Like we have been miseducated over the term of the usage of the term. Okay, so when we say black, we mean the African diaspora. We mean all of those that were somehow affected by the transatlantic enslavement trade. The taking people from their country, taking people from their land, and being disposed to other places. So all of us that have that as an experience, and that includes, let me help you all, that includes those that were not removed from Africa, from the continent of Africa. That includes the Chadnese, that includes the Sudanese, that includes everybody in the Guyanese, that includes everybody in Africa and everybody outside of Africa that came from Africa that were displaced against their will. Everybody that's included in that is black.
So basically, because I'm looking at the psychology behind what's happening.
Sure.
Because we talk around psychology a lot.
Get to it, yeah.
So basically, we're united by our trauma. The thing that we're trying to escape is what we identified ourselves as.
No.
Now I notice you put the other people who were displaced.
Sure.
But a lot of them don't call themselves black. They don't even use that term. Like they'll tell you they don't even use it. We use that here.
Yeah.
So when we say black, we're identifying ourselves by our trauma because of what is black. And that's what we keep calling ourselves, and it don't mean.
Well, you call yourself this, but I'm black, brother.
Well, I think the thing is, and I don't want people to misconstrue what Chelsea's saying. Chelsea is not saying that we are a defeated people, because I talked to my guy and them brothers who work with me, and they're like, "You guys are in the greatest country in the world.
Come on.
You know, why are y'all still dealing with the race issue?" And that is the thing that's the hard question. Why are we still dealing with the race issue? Mm-hmm. So he's not saying that we're asking people, give us this. What he's basically saying is this: if we don't put ourselves in a position where we stop trying to say, okay, at the end of the day, you still my brother.
Right.
You still going to go through some of the same struggles that I'm going to go through. I've got to know who runs local government. I got to know who I'm voting for. I got to know that just because you come around to my church don't mean you got the best interest when you go to Washington. That is freeing me from the system of I'm the victim to I'm the victor, because I'm learning the system. I'm learning that as a black man in a classroom, I don't have the same privileges that my white neighbor. A kindergarten can't sit on my lap. I don't participate in pajama days, because the minute something goes down the pipeline, I'm going to be first out. And so learning these things is the key to really growing, where you don't say, okay, I'm a victim by this, because I can count probably on one hand how many times I've been called outwardly the N-word. But in back doors, I'm sure I've been called them a lot. And so what I'm learning is, to your point, Jamie, when it comes to the philosophy, the victimizing role we got because they removed, or we allowed it to be removed, the black man from the community. It used to be, even if you didn't have a father, you had one black man in the community that would play sports with you, that would encourage you, that would tell you to stay out of trouble, and you look forward to that man. All right, well, where did that come about? Okay, because we needed housing. And what did? They lumped us along in the housing, but they told our fathers, you can't come here. Right. Yeah. Welfare is not going to pay an able-bodied black man to stay here with his family. Okay, so you break the family up. The man, okay, you would do better with our kids living here, and I'll try to find somewhere else to stay. Okay, and then that stigma becomes along, and now we're trying to get back to saying, okay, we need men. Whether you're coming out of jail, go back to those gangbangers and say, hey, man, listen, that ain't the road, bro. Yeah. That is not the road, because if then we're going to stay victim, it's never going to be the victor. And other black people from Africa are going to look at us saying, man, y'all ain't worried about some of the things that we're worried about, but y'all crying. They tell us to forget our traumatic experiences, but they tell the Jews to remember them. Right. They tell the Japanese, remember when they put you in concentration camps in America. Everybody is allowed to grow from trauma. They tell the Native Americans, the Osage tribe, remember, they wrote a whole movie, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Give you money
they give you money to remember. And so we're the only people that's saying, okay, I got to forget that, but don't everything in the scriptures tell us that for Moses, for Abraham, and for David to be great, they had to overcome a struggle. Yeah. They had to use adversity as opportunity. And so what we're basically saying is we're telling our people, forget that, that was 200 years ago. But the Holocaust has museums.
Yeah.
They will not be shut down.
Yeah.
The Native Americans, nobody's saying that was 500 years ago. That was 600 years ago. No, get yours, remember. And now look, they're using economic wealth to say boom, 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 because y'all gave us this out of our trauma.
Yeah, and to be clear, part of, and I'm so glad that you said it like that. Part of, and this is why I said the miseducation, because if you go back, the Ethiopian church is the oldest church in the world. I don't care how you think, or how old Rome is, or how old Catholicism is, but Catholics had to come to Egypt and the Coptic church and the Antioch church to find out how to do this church thing. When they went, some of the priests went into the Ethiopian church. They said they're humming, they're jumping, they're singing songs, they're stomping and clapping things that are not hymns that we wrote. It's a quote from a bishop. He says they're doing things that are not Christian. The point is, he was identifying the same kinds of black church that we have today, because we were.
Oh, we got to go there.
That
we
were
go
that.
I got a lot on that. You're taking us somewhere.
Yeah, we were that.
Get ready to get upset, people.
Before the diaspora, before the trauma, we were that. Before the trauma, we were black. Before the trauma, we were loud.
You can't
Before
do this.
The trauma,
You got to do
we
this now.
We were shouting and dancing.
You got to do this now.
Before the trauma, we were gospel instead of CCM. Before the trauma. So when we say identifying with blackness, we mean to say that true blackness is simply being a people from a place that have this similarity, this common thread that you cannot escape. No matter where you look, we cannot escape our African roots. It's in our colors, it's in our designs. No matter how much they try and deprive us of it, it's in everything that we do. It's in our hair, it's in our clothing, it's in the colors that we wear. Before there was ever a Pan-African movement, there was just a love of red, green, black, and yellow. That comes from us knowing who we are intrinsically outside of the trauma. And to speak psychologically to it, and I believe I can because I got a Master of Divinity degree. So let's put some respect on my name before I say this. Part of getting through and over trauma, like my brother said, is speaking to the trauma that you've been through. You would never tell an abused woman to not speak on the abuse of her husband, or to call herself that. Like, you never have a problem with it being a battered women's shelter.
That's right. That's right. And to your point, if you really want to celebrate the beauty of blackness, go outside of the United States. They told the Jamaicans, when the British are gone, your nation will fall. And the Jamaicans have survived because they embrace. When you go anywhere outside the United States and you see beautiful black people not ashamed of the drum and of the loudness, now they'll come into our churches and tell us, you're too loud. The music is too loud. This is no longer acceptable. This is the only way to worship God now. And we fall for that. And we started saying, okay, the black church is not fulfilling our need. Nobody has yet to say, why is the white church not going to the white community and making a difference? How much of the white church's money go back into the white church community? But the black church now has been turned against. Why? Again, when you start promoting unity, when you start promoting values, it's going to be turned against. Now the black preacher wants the jets, but he don't even fall in the top 10 successful preachers in America. But yet and still, he's the one that's he's pimping the church. And we fall into this psychological thing all the time because of systematic oppression.
I really want you to kind of deal more so, especially we can kind of talk about the musical angle of this. But I definitely think that all things black are being taken from all people black. And when they are snatching what defines us, when you take the salt that we used from Fatback and you are now putting that out in the world as if Laurie's made it first, you are depriving us of what makes our ethnicity what it is. And part of the systemic process of what's happening to us, especially in our music, is the same thing that my brother described with the fraternities and sororities. It's the same thing that's happening in the church. It's where they are taking it because it is a tool that brings us together. It is a tool of unity. And the problem is the unity. The problem is love. Ultimately, it's all under the umbrella of love.
Right.
But the love umbrella is connected by the stem that is being unified. And we have to get under the umbrella of unity and realize you are me, I am you, and we are all the same. Because we can't get to conflict resolution until we realize, till I see your success as my success.
Wow.
We can't get to any other things that we're trying to get to until we realize that we are the same. Now, if I find that using the N-word, to be clear, using the N-word offends my brother, you won't ever hear me use it. Because I understand that we are one. And so there has to be this love thread and this unified commonality that weaves us together.
And conflict resolution is really just being able to explain why that offends you. If a person sit down and say, you know what, like me, I don't do mama jokes. Me and J. Anthony Brown probably would never get along because I watched my mama struggle when we were in the project. I watched her literally make 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with the last 2 pieces of bread, and roaches was on hers, and I ate mine. So my mama is one of my most precious assets in my whole life.
I don't do
so
mama jokes.
we ain't doing mama jokes.
No.
And so if I can explain, and if I can explain it to my brother, hey brother, you know, I know you're being funny, I know you're being bad, but I just love my mama.
Yeah,
and he said,
me.
you know what? I agree with that. You know what? Let's shake hands on it. If we can joke about anything else, you can joke about my height, you can joke with my mama joke, and I think that's where conflict resolution comes in.
Right.
You've got to be willing to listen.
That's right.
If you're listening and you're saying, okay, I got you.
I think that was respect coming in.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah, man, brother, listen. You know, I believe you. So if you say don't eat red meat around you, I'm not going to eat red meat.
There you go.
I'm just
and
using
the Bible backs you on that.
Yeah,
if your sin is going to trap up your brother, don't do it.
So, but yeah, and man, I love that mama joke. I don't like that kind of stuff. The N-word, I never liked it, guys. It's and I teach the young guys. Listen, when I'm refereeing, I referee for 19 years high school ball. If I hear that word, I'm like, come here, brother. I got to give you a lesson, man. It offends me.
Yeah.
And so
I know a couple
and I might be the only one like that, but I'm like that, guys.
No. It's other people. It's other people like that. I mean, to be clear, I started this podcast saying the N-word. I did not start saying it until Pastor CT said
No, I said the heart.
So
ER.
I was saying N-word the whole time.
Yeah, I wanted the sting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He
I
want
want
the
that sucker to
smoke.
sting.
Y'all always think that I want the smoke. Pastor CT the one that really want the smoke. You know what I'm
I
saying?
wanted the sting.
See him in his comments. You know what I'm saying?
I want the fire. Be articulate when you do it. They watch us. they watch us from city to job. They watch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, man. I like the way that you said that.
My mother said something, and we adopted that at the church. Before I could teach you how to behave and believe, I got to teach you how to belong.
Right.
I've got to be able to look beyond flaws and see need. And a lot of times people look for flaws before they see needs. And I heard people say, well, you can't tell these young brothers nothing. Did you teach them how to belong?
Right.
You out there refereeing games, they first of all, they see you out there, and they're like, this is important to him.
Right.
Because that $26 ain't make you want to go out there and blow no whistle.
No.
So now you can say, okay, brother, you know that word right there, the fans, boom, boom, boom. I can listen to that. But when we go point and not trying to get a way to be able to understand and to be able to hear where each other come from, I think that's what we miss it a lot of times. In our conflict resolution, if a African American Republican sat down and said, this is what I believe. I believe that I don't want to see my young boy go into a woman's bathroom. And then a lot of like, oh yeah, I agree with what you say on that, but this is my problem with your certain party. And let's get to a point where we can have effective dialogue. And guess what? We can do this behind closed doors and go out still holding hands saying, hey, we love everybody. There you go. We shall overcome.
Man,
for our views, and just for me too, and maybe you can help me. If I said I'm a black man and I'm a Republican, why, would the other Democratic jump on me? I mean, you see it.
Your viewpoint is,
but now I'm not. I'm
offensive and violent.
Yeah,
there is. We have got to. We have to spend some time discussing that as a truth,
right?
Too.
And I wanted to go there for our viewers.
Yeah, like you can't. I was a member of the military, so for me, you can't send my son. I know what the rules are at school, but you can't send my son to school or send my daughter to school and tell her that she has to refer to a teacher when somebody puts when they put their hands on her. I tell my children to enact violence. Look, it's a tool like any of the other tools, and if we can do it as a country, you sure can't tell me that I can't do it in my life. And so sometimes, and also there are some conversations that are simply violent. And so if my brother said to me, I've said I don't have a problem with mama jokes, but if someone says a mama joke to me, because I do value my mama, I don't want that to be.
She
Don't
wants you
just
to-
don't
You gonna let
do
somebody
that.
talk about me?
Don't do that because I throw hands.
I do
Like
too.
I don't have no
Man.
problem. I throw hands. I do all of the things.
I think when I was a
But-
kid, that's my fight.
You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you though, if
fight
you
over
say
that.
something about my mom, I will say, hey, we can just fight. If it mean that much to you, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to. We can just get into the business part about it because the last thing you want is me passionately fighting. You know what I mean? Let's just throw hands. But I don't know. But I think that there are acts and there are ways that we can like just throw somebody off and disrespect them in a way that makes them feel like you're ultimately putting them into a corner. And I think that, and that's why you say you pull that brother to the side. You be in an environment where you already have hugged them before you pointed the finger. And I think that that's a part of community, and community is just coming in unity. That's one word that's speaking to unity. So again, this concept is repeating itself, that we're diagnosing the issue, but the solution is unity, which means we're going to have to get less sensitive about some issues, and then we're going to actually, you know what I'm saying,
I
and
agree.
come to the table and have a conversation.
I mean,
I agree with you on that one.
realistically, the atmosphere we're living in today is conducive of negativity. Before President Trump, nobody cared what you voted for because you did that in the private. They told you two conversations that will make people argue. Politics and
Yes, sir.
religion.
Yes, sir.
So in order to agree and to get along with your day, you stayed away from those two common topics.
Right.
And so there were plenty of black people that have always voted Republican. And nobody has ever cared. There was no
Right.
slander. There was
Right.
no coon. There was no, that's just who you are. Well, in this atmosphere today, because of the negativity that is surrounding our government, and it comes from the top down, now you're going to be in a more position to argue than you were. Okay, you got your freedom of speech. Because look at, we all are three different places. You are a police officer, Wade. There are some black people that see you coming,
For
and
sure. For
ex-military.
sure.
How in the world you gonna be in the white man's army?
For
you know,
sure.
I came straight up through the church and all that kind of stuff, and so we're able to come together and say, you know what, those little differences don't break the fact that at the end of the day we still trying to find a common goal.
I like that.
And I think that is at the end. I think that the one thing that we cannot forget, and this is one thing, because a lot of times in my position as a community leader, I have to work with people who may be Republican, who may be Democrat, in order to do the best solution for our community. And I don't sit there and say, okay, because you voted that way, we're not going to be able to work together. We did a school drive with two people that were definitely at the January 6th riot. They say they left early. The man can't repent. I don't know if you was there, but he said, you know what? I want to get right within my community. I want to do this. I want to do that. And so being able to work with people at the end of the day, it was like, okay, hard. I can say, you know what? I'm going to take the brother Umar solution and not have nothing for my community but my words. Or I can be the one that say, okay, that's me and this, so that our children do not suffer. And I think that within there's all different constructs of things. But at the end of the day, you want to be the person that's moving something forward, not just the people that's talking.
And to be clear, and I always want us to bring this back because we've kind of spoken about it, but to just really put a lens on it, there is the efforts of the devil that the enemy, the adversary, does not want us to walk in love or unity.
Right.
It's the reason why what bleeds leads. It's
Right.
the reason why we're in such a divisive country and a divisive time period. It's because the devil's onslaught against love, and it's now no longer just his attack against your church or your belief system or your community. It's his attack on the world. And if God would never allow this to happen, but the possibility of the devil just running us into our silos, where it's just me and my 4 and no more, my 10-member church, and we just the only ones speaking the truth, and everybody else is living a lie. If we're not careful, we'll go down this slippery slope of judgment, of pointing fingers, to where there will be no unity amongst us, and we will be walking into the doggone.
And the devil like
police officers, all these things that
they'll
we
be
need.
saying, like the adversary say,
got him.
got him.
Yeah.
I got him.
Yeah.
and that's his tactics.
Because I mean, and what you're saying is so true. Because I remember during the pandemic, I ran from Rock Hill. I was tired of our people. C.T. Kirk all about the camera. C.T. Kirk doing this all he want, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? Y'all can have this. And we moved to Lancaster.
Wow.
You know, and literally it was like the community efforts in the city started drying up. And so what brought me back was the George Floyd march. That wasn't my march. That two guys called and said, we're going to do this march, man. I just shared the flyer out, went to bed. I'm living in Lancaster. Y'all do whatever you do in Rock Hill. So when I woke up the next morning, all these likes and all these shares, what y'all doing, CT? What y'all doing? I'm like, hey, man, pick up the phone, guys. What y'all gonna do? Y'all got these people coming. What y'all gonna do? And it was like, oh, well, can you lead? I was like, no, I ain't even in Rock Hill. Forget Rock Hill, you know, because I had listened to the negativity from our people. Because that's the thing. We're not going to be hurt by somebody outside. To go back to James' point, when James said, who is the us? What I mean by us is I'm not going to get offended when somebody who does not know the struggle that I'm in does not like me.
Come on.
I'm not going to get mad when the Korean man follows me around the store. I'm not going to get mad at you. But when it's our people who we fighting for, and Jamie will tell you the people that we fight for a lot is the people that throw the most stones at you. And it's like, okay, if I let that run me away, then when your next stuff happens, who you going to? Because you ain't going uptown. You ain't going to mega church in Charlotte.
No.
You're not going to everybody you sharing their light. What is that? The videos of this
they don't
person.
care.
Yeah, they ain't coming to Rock Hill to save you.
No.
I might be all you have for right now.
Right.
You are.
And so I was like, okay, boom, God, am I gonna let them talk me out of what you have predestined for
That's
me? Because my
conflict
feelings are-
resolution right there,
yeah,
brother.
Yeah, and so I had to have a conversation with God and say, okay, God, I got to do this for you because I may not get the support or the likes or what I need to give forward. And so it was like,
Yeah. And one of the most unifying things, spiritual solutions, is to get outside of ourselves and get into our assignments.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And you have been called to this assignment of Rock Hill, and it's so obvious, it's been so confirmed that the work that you're doing here is bringing fruit. That you may never even see. You know what I mean? You realize
I like how you do that though. You go deep preacher. You go Umar. All this is in one person, Jamie. Jamie, we didn't know who we were sitting beside 10 minutes ago. He came in here ready.
Yeah.
The diasporas.
Yeah.
But listen, man, I love your brother's perspective. It's been great.
Yeah.
And I know we can go on and on. But one last question. And how do, and each brother just take a shot at it. We ain't got to go deep and long at it, but for our viewers, how do we fight back? How do we protect love that Chelsea just talked about and build strong families? I know healing, communication, economic, community support. But it's love by itself is enough.
Go ahead, doctor.
Hey,
I do
this
some
is
skills.
I want to hit us from the divinity side first.
I do some skills need to come with that.
Yeah. And let me be very, very clear when I say this. We started this podcast before the cameras came on with prayer.
Yes, we did.
And that's not because it was for the cameras. We do that because we believe in the power of prayer. Our God still has power. John testifies that if you love your brother, then you love the Lord, that our God is love. Love never fails, according to 1 Corinthians 13. And so God can't fail. Love can't fail. The tools that we use can never fail. What God has given us is enough to get us over. Sufficient are the day's troubles for themselves. And so what the enemy wants us to do is to use Saul's sword in attacking Goliath when we have been using the slingshot of love for thousands of years. And so love brought us to this point. Love took us from the back of the bus to owning buses.
Yes, sir.
Love took us from
brother.
being born by the river and owning a single small record label to being billionaires. It is God's love that will reach and teach. It reaches to the highest mountain.
Wow.
It flows to the lowest valley.
Oh, Lord.
It is the power that makes much able to be accomplished.
Cooking,
and
brother.
so there's simply nothing that love cannot do.
100%. That's all. I love it.
I think that in order to get us to the place, we've got to start with our young children. We got to invest in
Yes.
the teaching and the training aspect so that they don't have to relive a lot of our blood. I think we've been bleeding on them so long, whether it is in relationships where mothers are upset with their children's father, and all because of that, you're going to put him in the system, or you're going to bash him, and all this negativity. We got to start with our young children, because our young children come into this world pure. They come into this world innocent. They don't care about religion or politics. They just children. They see somebody different, that's still somebody to play with. And the Bible always tells us to get to the heart of a child. The heart of a child will inherit the kingdom. Because the kingdom is about people that are working. We are, regardless of how we like it, we are a civilization. Everything that you do indirectly affects my life. If there is no McDonald's, if there's no grocery stores, that indirectly affects my life. And so we've got to be able to value that we are a society of people. And to be able to be a part of the society, everybody got to do their own individual part. And you got to love yourself enough to know you are a part of that puzzle piece. And I don't have to hate on anyone regardless of what their puzzle piece looks like. Because at the end of the day, the puzzle can only be complete when all the pieces come together.
Oh, love it, brother. I love it. Hey, guys, you heard it right here. Worthy conversation. But before we go, Pastor CT, you tell us a little about your book,
Right.
sir. I know you got the prototype, and you didn't bring it today.
I didn't bring the prototype, but they're going to go to Amazon. They're going to get A Praying Woman is a Dangerous Woman.
Whew.
And it is
I saw that title. I love that title, man.
Yeah, man. I'm here because of my mother's prayers. Mama would wake up early in the morning, put oil on our head, and pray for us. And even in our rambunctious teen days, I think my little sister did more than I did. I was kind of saved a long time.
Wow.
Watch it, Jamie. But and this book is dedicated to the women of prayer, because as Chelsea said, the enemy wants to destroy the love. And now you're hearing the conversation of a woman's place in the church, whereas 85% of the churches are made up of women. So I wanted to give a shout out to those women who prayed. I want to give them strategies to continue to pray, because I believe that the prayers are why we're standing where we're standing now.
100%, brother. Pastor Chelsea, got any last word for our viewers, for our new viewers that coming in, anything you got coming up, anything that you got going on?
Yeah, I always have Sunday morning coming up at 11 a.m. Church is still, you know what I'm saying, where it all goes down. There is still the medium for our Black liberation. So meet me at Trinity AME Zion Church at 123 South Academy Street, Blacksburg, South Carolina. I'm there every Sunday at 11 a.m.
Where can they tune into your Bible study? Because I see you Bible study. How can they get to your Bible study?
Yeah, so you have to, I hate putting this out because the kids follow me.
They follow everything.
Because it's on TikTok, you know what I'm saying?
Homework out there.
Well, I told him 2 weeks, the last podcast, he said, the kids ain't on Facebook. That's the old people medium. So then I started doing my Bible study on my TikTok. So my TikTok is Pastor Chelsea Sims. So if you go to my TikTok, now all of the kids follow me because of this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
And him saying that on this podcast.
I love
now
it.
They all follow me. So
Yeah,
you can follow me. My podcast is everywhere. So it happens on TikTok. It's on Facebook Live. It's on YouTube Live. You just go over there and just put in Pastor Chelsea Sims anywhere on there. You'll see it. Also, my website, chelseasims.com. You'll see all of the stuff. Trinitychurch, Blacksburg.com. You'll see all of those things. Anything's got
Pastor CT, how do we catch your Bible study? Because I see you on.
Oh, yeah. I'm still old. Go to Sanctuary of Life on Facebook. I'll be on TikTok coming up real soon, though.
Okay.
My brother right there giving me those tips, and I'm going on there.
Yeah. And also, guys, Pastor A.T. Murdoch, he's not here today. Graduation and everything else got him. But anyway, I think his Bible study is on Monday nights.
Mondays, yeah.
Monday night.
He's
Hey,
on
guys,
Facebook as well.
so listen, please go to the channel, subscribe, comment, share.
Yeah.
Tell somebody about us, guys. And we also looking for sponsors, guys. So we want to keep this show, to be able to keep this show running. So we're looking for sponsors. Contact me, and I can let you know how you can be a part of a sponsor for Worthy Conversation. Hey, guys, we're going to do it worthy right here. We're going to keep it faithful, and we're going to keep it true to you. We're going to do the best of our ability to keep this show going, guys, because thank you so many. Miss Stacy McKnight, she watched the show, and she called up 30 of her friends, and 30 of her friends watched the show and subscribed. So thank you, guys. Hey, y'all, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for our viewers. Hey, guys, I love you. And last thing I say, keep on believing, for faith is the substance of things hoped for, and it is the evidence of things not seen. By it, the elders are obtaining a good report, and you could too, my brothers and sisters. So keep on believing.